So sorry, everybody. I had a delay because the internet went out at the wrong time. So, deepest apologies. Hope you can all hear me. Quick comment if you can. So, yes, let's dive right in. Sorry for the delay. I had to run up and down the stairs, reset routers, make everything happen. And okay, hope you're all staying calm. Let me see. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, we can hear you. Awesome. And I hope everything is clear. Check the mic volume. Perfect. Let's jump right in. As usual, I don't waste any time. Math, money, freedom. You guys know the drill. And disclaimer, none of this is investment advice, but so much has happened lately. And thank you all for holding in there. The worst is over, without a doubt. We saw huge rebounds over the last 24 hours. A lot of people made a lot of money. There's names that are up over 100%, 85%, 95%, 75%, all over the place. I also have some new artwork back there. I added two whales. So you can see is we got the bull and the whale. So we're trying to mix up the animals. So the whales are representative of the people that are taking your coins. So don't ever sell out to the whales. So we had 10 days of horrible FUD, and now it's all coming back. So the tide is turning on the FUD. First piece of great news is Ray Dalio. As you guys know, I'm a big fan. He admitted today he owns Bitcoin. And he did point out something kind of very interesting. And I tweeted this earlier today. And obviously, he has in the past called Bitcoin one hell of an invention. And he probably bought Bitcoin in the dip. A lot of these guys were waiting for the right time. Guggenheim, Scott Minerd, and many, many others. But what was interesting that what he said about this, which actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it, is the danger is the more we create savings in Bitcoin, i.e., people pump their hard earned fiat dollars into Bitcoin rather than bonds, then the governments lose control. So if you think about that very carefully, he's dead right. So he's still very well aware of the fact that the governments ultimately will lose control. But my theory is let's not worry about this till Bitcoin's more than $500,000. And by that time, Wall Street will be deep in, and the government works for Wall Street. So not a concern there, but Ray has a very good point. He is a very smart billionaire investor. He's investing in Bitcoin. So good on you, Ray. Now, in other news of tide turning, you got Elon Musk trying to rebuild his reputation. Now, he said he spoke like himself, spoke with Bitcoin miners. No, we didn't. It was actually Michael Saylor that arranged the meeting and asked Elon to join. But the point is, they're trying to build a consortium of North American miners. There's a huge opportunity right now as well to do a lot more. There's massive investments going into North American mining, and it's all goodness. So Elon is in. He's trying to rebuild his reputation. Michael Saylor is orchestrating a lot of stuff. There's conferences going on with a whole bunch of very important individuals like Cathie Wood and Twitter, etc. So a lot of good stuff is happening there too. Now, what's also happening is when you start slamming something that's near and dear to the heart of CyberHornets like Bitcoin, they do their homework, they do research, and they pump it out. So a very, very detailed paper just came out as well and analyzed all of the carbon emissions by the traditional financial services sector. And Bitcoin uses less than 5% of the traditional financial services sector. So again, it still is a lot. Any carbon emission is definitely a lot. But basically, Bitcoin is far less impactful on the planet than the traditional brick and mortar banks. And they analyzed everything: the type of electricity used, the square footage, the cost of security, lighting, energy, heating, air conditioning, alarm systems, you name it, in this very, very ornate plan. And it was incredible to see. So, anyway, more FUD being dispelled. So, and then going back to Elon Musk, crypto investors want him to stop tweeting. And that was kind of funny. They say, shut up, Elon, stop tweeting. So he's beginning to listen, and hopefully he'll do less and be more positive to the whole area. Now, speaking of social, there's a couple of things that are happening, and I'm going to talk about spammers and people trying to pretend they are me. I was never into things like Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. But now we have created Investors Answers channels on Facebook and Instagram. We had one on Twitter. It was previously called USFJX. It's now called Invest_Answers because somebody's taken these names. So just want to say be careful. And I will be posting on these channels regularly. So watch for that too. But I just have to take the territory, take the place to make sure you're not fooled by somebody who would be fake. It was a fake Telegram person and etc. So just be very, very careful out there of who's doing what. I'll never ask for anything. Now, in other great news, Raoul came out and he pointed out two charts, and you guys may have seen this one already. This came out yesterday, late last night. But the first one is a Bitcoin chart that compares, I think it went 2010 to 2013 to today's bull market run. Now, if you look at the parallels between the movements, the white line is this bull run and the blue line is what happened before. This chart takes us up to $300,000, assuming it continues tracking just like it did in the 2013 bull run. Now, if we go a little bit further, he did it again. This is the 2016 to 2018. They're very similar, and nothing is out of the ordinary by no stretch of the imagination. But what's really bullish about this one is if it continues with this trajectory in this cycle, and that means 8 months, which is kind of staggering. So thank you, Raoul, for that, keeping everybody calm and publishing some good news. So what we've just been through was an orchestrated manipulation to get coins away from retail investors. So very sorry for anybody who sold. Now, this is the third and the final chapter from this anonymous guy that talked to us about how the manipulation was going to happen, how low they were going to take it, that there'd be a second manipulation down to 30K or down even to 25K. Anyway, he says, hey guys, insider back. For those of you who got liquidated, I am sorry. Also, Sun was not our target. I don't even know who Sun is. How stupid could you be? He does not matter. So anyway, my contacts are almost done filling their orders. Just like we said, the rich were filling their bags. And this is very clear from the type of transactions that were happening. Bitcoin was being purchased by people with 100 to 1,000 or more Bitcoins. These are very high net worth individuals. And if you sold, you should buy back in because we're going to go up really fast. We still project 70,000. This is my last message. So I don't know how real this is, who this person was, but the point is, it was all manipulation, and I hope nobody got hurt. Now, I know that people in the investors community knew to stay strong and, in fact, used the opportunity to get really, really good deals. In fact, I loaded up on a whole bunch of altcoins over the past 10 days. So it's been pretty good from that perspective. And I was buying a little bit of Bitcoin every single day as well, because Bitcoin under 40K is not to be laughed at because it's going right back up to 60 pretty soon. So speaking of China, in other good news, there's a lot of crackdown now on Bitcoin miners in China. And these guys are very flexible entrepreneurs. They're going to pack up their rigs and they're going to get on a boat or on a ship or in a plane or whatever and get the hell out of there. And a lot of people say they're coming to North America. Places like Canada are very friendly with a lot of renewable energy. So this is great news for Bitcoin. This could be the last piece of FUD that would be laid to rest. And also in China, it gives a great opportunity for the rest of the world. So watch that space. It could all be good. And we'll see. In other news as well, everybody still wants to be paid in Bitcoin despite the volatility. So Zane, this is live, by the way. It's not recorded, completely live. So people do want still to be paid in Bitcoin. So in Holland, the staff of the biggest Dutch Domino's pizza franchise can now be paid in Bitcoin. The franchisee with 16 Domino's stores partnering with Bitcoin Direct to offer their salary to over 1,000 employees. And all football and basketball and athletes of every kind all want to be paid in Bitcoin. So this isn't going away. And I can't imagine how many people are demanding now that their salary be paid in Bitcoin. I know artists want to be paid in Bitcoin. Contractors in other countries want to be paid in Bitcoin. Nobody wants fiat anymore. And it's only becoming more popular. So as I always spoke about it, the tsunami of money, but the wall of money, here you go. Today, Goldman Sachs endorses Bitcoin as a new asset class. And Brian McDermott says Bitcoin is an investable asset. Now, when a big shop like this comes and says, okay, time to invest, that means a lot of money is coming. So Goldman Sachs are following after JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, and a whole bunch of others. Expected to be here soon. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Coinbase was above 300 in a couple of weeks or less. So their target is $306. Remember, we were at $306 a few days ago, so it's not a big stretch. It did get beaten down with the dip. But what is very important to know is during these volatile weeks and these crashes, basically the trading volume is through the roof. And when the trading volume is high, Coinbase make a ton of money. So I know we're probably still 10 weeks away from the next quarter earning results, but they'll be very good. And of course, Bitcoin will be fully recovered by then, and I expect Coinbase to go back up. So a little bit of Goldman Sachs and Coinbase news, and a little bit of Cathie. Cathie, of course, our biggest bull ever. She's still very confident that Bitcoin's going to $500,000. She keeps on adding Palantir and TDOC, and she is ditching Apple. She's also buying it out of the game called Roblox or something like that. But again, she's doubling down. And again, their investments have been hammered as well by this move to value, but they will come back. So again, like everything else, it'll all come back. Now, a little bit of inflation news, which is again another feather in the cap of Bitcoin. More than half of people think that everything is now more expensive than it was pre-pandemic. Red meat, especially, has apparently skyrocketed in price. Chicken, fruit, toilet paper, milk, prepared foods, seafood. This is an analysis of nearly 3,000 adults just over the past 2 days in North America. So inflation is here. More than half of all Americans feel it, and it's dramatic, and it's only just begun. Now, if you're buying steel or lumber or cotton, it's crazy. If you are using storage containers to ship have gone up threefold in a year. And that's going to impact everything that comes from overseas. Think furniture, cars, all that type of stuff. So inflation is only going to get a lot worse as we go forward. Now, and final piece of news, just to watch out. Swindlers are everywhere. Scammers are everywhere. That's one of the reasons I opened these social channels as well, so people know it's the real me and not a fake me. By the US controller of the currency. And basically, if you look at the email that's gone out to people, your fund, 10.5 million, is ready to be paid to you. Note, your fund can only be paid to you via a Bitcoin wallet. Address ID, no. Whatever. Due to too much, or it's just ridiculous. They're everywhere. So don't trust email, don't trust text messages, don't trust websites, don't trust anything out there. They're all out to get their hands on your bag. So be very careful, everybody. And with that, I'm going to open up to a little Q&A. I hope you guys like this stuff. And let me just pop up the chat and make sure everything is good. And there was some comment there that somebody said, this is not live, but I promise you it is live. That's why I had these terrible internet problems, which stressed me out. I'd run up and down the stairs. So let me just check in and scroll up through some of the comments. Go Holland. Yes, James Canada welcomes you. I love the Canadians, such nice people. Little Viking coach, good to see you again, buddy. I just want to check in on everybody and make sure everybody's doing okay. I hope people had a chance to, I have a lag, CPU processing bottleneck. Should be good. I kind of shut down everything. So anyway, any questions from everybody out there? Investors, what is my full-time occupation? From Christopher Banyard. I retired last year. I retired thanks to Bitcoin and Ethereum and Tesla and a few other good investments that I made. So my occupation is just sharing everything I know with you guys. That's it. You're really interested in that. I used to work in FX markets, et cetera, and technology, digital marketing and stuff. How much HNT do you own? I don't own any right now, but I did buy, thanks Preston, over the last week to 10 days, I picked up a lot of Solano. I picked up a truckload of Chainlink actually on Saturday, and that went from like $16 all the way up to, I don't know what it is now, 25, etc. It's going crazy. Yeah, let me see. Matic is a good buy if Ethereum is building their own Oracle. I think Matic is definitely a good buy. I actually picked up some of that as well. I think it's good to have a little bit of some of the winners. You don't need to own just one thing. It's always best to spread a little bit around, but hang in there. And for MacCon, Ethereum, are you still bullish? Yes, more bullish than ever. Vitalik has apparently solved things. And I think when you go back to the whole this proof of work versus proof of stake thing, and greenness and energy efficiency and being carbon neutral, I think the proof of stake platforms will grow a lot faster over time. Now, that being said, there is only one Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin community and the Bitcoin network is very special. Just imagine what do I reckon now? 6 million Bitcoin are lost, 18.7 million are issued. There's 12.7. There's a million got taken by the Satoshi lockup. There's about a million on exchanges, and the other 10 million are in cold storage. So the actual availability of Bitcoin right now is about a million coins, maybe 1.5 million coins that are freely available to buy. And they're going to be gone real soon. So fell honey pop, dead cat bounce, James? No, I would, if it wasn't for the situation, the fact that we know that this was orchestrated. No, it's not dead cat bounce. Contribution to the pets. Thank you so much. Citizen Dual Sport. How does Bitcoin market cap need to be for manipulation to stop happening? So the sad answer to that is manipulation will never stop happening. However, the impact of the manipulation will become less because people are becoming wiser. So if you look at all the people that sold over the last week or so, they were all people that bought within the last 30 days. They weren't people that were long-term hodlers. Now, the manipulation, they wanted to try to drive the price in the second kind of manipulation push downwards over the weekend, down to 25,000. They didn't get that far because people weren't selling as much. They basically wiped everybody out. So I don't think people will be fooled that much. And again, the supply is so scant. And again, as I said, the big money is just arriving with Goldman Sachs today, Ray Dalio, all the big banks. They're all organizing themselves to be able to help high net worth individuals, people who have hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. In fact, if you look at the Glassnode information and chain analysis data, the people that were buying actually were all West Coast United States, people in California. These are kind of high net worth techies that were buying 100 to 1,000 Bitcoins at a time. They were not retail investors. So that's what's happening. So I'm not worried about the FUD and the carbon stuff, but I do believe Ethereum will still be very strong, but there is only one Bitcoin and there'll only ever be one Bitcoin. So Henry Bailey, I'm concerned about the crypto winter. How do you feel about it? So a couple of things, and I've said this before, I don't think the crypto winter will be as bad as previous downdrafts. So the retracements, maybe 40 to 45%, but it really depends on, number one, how far we go. Number two, how much of the crypto is actually held by high net worth individuals and institutions and treasuries, etc. If it is an extremely high proportion, there's not a lot of Bitcoin to be sold. And as we start going up higher and higher, and as people like sports athletes that get paid $100 million a year start demanding to be paid in Bitcoin, I don't see it as being as bad. Now, there's a lot of junk names out there, and I think the world will wake up to the Doge coins of the world. And no offense to any Doge fans out there, but the cryptocurrencies and the tokens that have no real value or use case behind them, they will suffer and they will get wiped out. Many say that 95% of all tokens will disappear, but we'll have to see. But that's why I always recommend staying in the big names, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, and some of my favorite names as well, like the Chainlinks, HBARs, Solanas, etc. So Cardano price at the end of 2021. So my original plan, that's from Red Pill X89, Cardano price, end of 2021. My target was $3, and we nearly got there a week or two ago. So I think a lot of people are calling for $10. I saw an article today saying it could hit $40. 10 to 20 is what people are looking at, but I will start selling using my Cardano exit model as soon as it starts going above $3. That's my plan, at least. But I have to see exactly how they're launching their smart contract platform real soon, and I have to see how good it is and what the adoption is, and that will determine everything as well as we go forward. So Thomas Yeager, looking forward to your video about how to borrow against your crypto and comparing the best lending platforms. Yes, that is coming. I am not borrowing against crypto yet because I want the prices to stabilize and I want us to get through this whole speculative period before I do that. And I don't need to borrow right now, but that will come. The best and most safest ways to borrow as well, because what I like is I do not like counterparty risk. So if you hand over your keys and they are exchanged, you never know what's going to happen. So that's one of the pieces that has me very, very nervous. Um, and I'm not into lending crypto for 6% or 8.6% or 4% per year. But I am into being able to borrow, use your crypto as collateral as long as you can hold your keys, and then pull money out so you can make investments in the traditional world. So that would be definitely very cool. Benedict Schluter, vielen Dank. Very nice of you. Celsius, yes, Celsius is the platform that I like, and I don't know if Elon Musk is holding all that Doge. To be honest, we'll see. Orion Star, please, hi from Florida. Uh, I want to tokenize my real estate holdings and I want to learn about tokenization. Do you have any recommendations? Yeah, there's a ton of actually players that do tokenization in Florida. When you are tokenizing real estate, you need to be able to work with a local provider because there's a lot of legal stuff you need to work through. And I actually have a video, it's called DeFi, and I talk about some of the players in that. So check that video out. And I'll be doing a lot more detail when it comes to tokenization because I think that really is the future. But it's also very jurisdiction based. So make sure you are compliant or else it could all be for nothing. So Morganati, thank you so much. I heard company behind USDT in British Virgin Islands is creating more of its coin and that the majority of transactions for Bitcoin ETH use USDT. Thoughts on this and how it might affect the price of Bitcoin ETH? I don't think so. So I also have USDT. I get my fiat, I park it in USDT and I use it to transact because it's much faster and easier to have that. So I'd have to look into that. I don't know, but I will look into it. And if there is something that I uncover that is dangerous, we can get on top of it. But I would not be concerned. In fact, on the FTX platform, I have a lot of USDT. Just moved more in there too. Thoughts on Engine? I got a little bit of Engine a while back, and I know it got hammered recently. I think it's a very simple NFT play, but I would not put more than 1/4% of your assets into it, to be honest. I think it's always good to have a huge majority of your money in the safe blue chip names. Again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Cardano, and a few other top names. But Engine is just a little pimple on the butt of all things crypto. So be careful there. And let me see. ETH and ETH2 on Coinbase. The ETH2 is what they use for staking. It's not set up yet, but that's why it's there. It's just kind of like a staking option within Coinbase, Henry. That's a very good question. And I'll dig more into that as to when it's going to be launching. And I'll definitely make sure you guys are apprised of exactly what happened. So Philip Good, did you get Galaxy? So I bought Galaxy, I think it was about 14 Canadian. And I know it got hammered recently and it's probably right back down to almost where it was. Let me just check real quick and find out where it is right now today. But I know they really got hammered today during the market, and I'm not sure why. I haven't had a chance to look into that. But it's still a $3-4 above my original entry price. So I did not buy more. I think there's better places to play. And hopefully we'll see Bitcoin going above 40,000 sometime tonight. It tends to move well at night. Let me see what other questions we have before we wrap up. Saz Ferry finally made it to alive. Thank you for helping to keep it calm during all the stress. Saz, you are so welcome. And thank you for being part of the community. And your contribution is very welcome. I have a cat here. I need to bring it to the next video. Reese Random. I have 80% invested in real estate and live off the rent income. Would you sell part and invest more into Bitcoin? Not investment, guys. So what I would try to do is, it depends on where you are, Reese. Sounds like, is that a British pound sign? You could be in the United Kingdom. Have a look into tokenization of real estate. That way you can find a way to sell part of it and avoid, incurring capital gains from selling your property. I don't know what the tax law is in the UK, but if you sell property here and you don't roll it into another property, you can be forced to pay a lot of taxes. So check out tokenization because that could be a great option for you. Now it depends how many units you have and if they're portionable. Like in the US, you have a thing called TIC units, and you can turn multi-unit apartment buildings into condos. So that could be an option for you as well. But the time it'll take to do that, though, Bitcoin could be an awful lot higher already. So it might be too late. The time to sell real estate to invest in Bitcoin was last year. I, at this stage right now, by the time you would get everything organized, Bitcoin could already be back to 65,000, maybe 70,000. And that would be too late to invest, perhaps. If it's only going to go to 100,000, you're not going to get a lot of return. So think big picture. Whale Killer. Whalekiller.org is an old coin with a fully doxed dev. They have a long-term goals of developing use case to identify scams as soon as they create. Very interesting. I don't like the name Whale Killer. It's a bit scary, and they should have thought better about that. But I understand what it's coming from. I will check it out. That'll be very, very interesting to look at. And what I mean, I don't like the name Whale Killer is because I don't like people killing whales. So it's a Butte Clark, Diamond Hands, good man. Voyager, thoughts on investing in them. So that Voyager application, I have it. I have them as an exchange. It's just quite problematic. It was a little bit problematic for me over the weekend. I think it probably is. I think any of the good exchanges are worth investing in. But instead of Voyager, I invest in Binance and bought a little bit more BNB over the weekend when I went down to $300. And I was at 600 a few days ago. So VeChain Vet, yeah, that got beat up too. Let me see where it is now. Yep. 10 cents, 11 cents. And I got a lot of heat saying my projection for VeChain at 33 cents, but now it's gone down. Algorand, yes, I got a little Algorand too. I think it's good. Harmony One, I have not looked at that yet, but I do, just so you guys know, we have a HBAR video and a Chainlink video coming up this week. So that should be exciting for you all, for those of you who are fans. And I did, in full disclosure, I own both. I bought them during the dip. I bought Chainlink when it dipped down yesterday. So yeah, a lot of people don't like BNB. That's from Esther Ezra because of the CZ and other people. And there's so much to look at. Polkadot, yes, I'm a big fan of Polkadot. I own DOT. I don't own Cosmos. I don't own Zilliqa. And that's it. So, and a lot of people are asking for Monero. Everybody's interested in that privacy coin. I don't know if the use case is kind of big enough right now. A lot of people aren't that concerned about privacy. And we live in a world, like big picture, when I think about privacy today, everybody knows everything about everybody anyway. It's all public. Google knows everything about everybody. So be careful about Dylan and Riley. Long-term stocks. So I'm very bullish on Tesla still, despite all the Elon Musk stuff. The stuff that company is doing, if they nail FSD by the end of this year, which Elon Musk is very positive he will do, then robo-taxis could be around in 2022. And that would be a game changer on top of all their energy business and their insurance business. I think one of the brightest stocks right now has to be Tesla still. So, Whalekiller is back. Our name is derived from a unique tax structure, which is designed and now proven to stop whales from market manipulation. I love it. It's just when you have people like me that love animals, I hear the name Whale Killer, I get disturbed. So cool. All right, team. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Glad everybody's there and staying strong. And sorry about the few minute delay with the little internet outage. But a quick question regarding MicroStrategy. So yeah, MicroStrategy is, again, think of it as 95% Bitcoin. It suffers when Bitcoin suffers, but Bitcoin's coming back up and MicroStrategy will follow it. There's always a little lag, but it's getting less and less as time goes on. So Greg Batante, James, can you explain what happens on your Patreon group and how does it work? Is it like this? So we have a ton of channels. We've got about 30 channels on Discord. I post there about 3 or 4 times a day. We have engaging conversations about everything. I share all the models that I build with everybody. You know, they can cover real estate models, exit strategy models, etc. And that's it. But there's a lot of people in there right now. We just started in Feb, and I think there's nearly 4,000 in there. So it grew very fast, but people say it's the best $10 you can buy if you're interested in financial freedom. But I'm not selling anything. And don't join Patreon until the first of the month, because Patreon bill the day you join and at the first of every month as well. Henry Bailey, yes, I love Palantir. I've got a growing Palantir position. Every time it goes between $18 and $19, I add more. So, but it's a long-term position. I still think it's going to be a $40 stock, probably within a year or less. Not investment advice, of course. And yeah, Matic. I love Matic. I own Matic. And I was able to get Matic during the dip too. So it was a crazy time. So with that, everybody, before I start spitting feathers, I'm going to let you all go. And a big thank you to everybody, and be safe out there. And I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's TA Tuesday. We haven't done one of those in a while. Okay. Cheers, everybody. Let me try to figure out how to